Good evening, listeners, and you're very welcome along to Across the Line here on Tip FM with myself, Paul Carroll, on this Friday, the 12th of December 2025. Now, usually on this show, we look ahead to the weekend sporting action, but last week you would have heard a long interview with Jason Forde, Jake Morris and Darragh McCarthy. We heard part one of that last week. We're going to hear part two in just a few moments' time, where the lads speak about the All-Ireland semi-final and All-Ireland final and look ahead to 2026 as well. So a different feel to the show at this time of the year. There is a lot of sport happening in the Premier County this weekend with under 21 games, plenty of rugby, plenty of soccer, and that too. We'll keep you up to date on the news, on the sport bulletins throughout the weekend on those. And just a quick mention as well, tomorrow in Feathertown Park we will have a live commentary of two games. First at 4 is Tipperary against Kerry in a senior football challenge game, and then at 6 o'clock Tipperary taking on Limerick in a senior hurling challenge game in Feathertown Park. That's at 6 p.m. Both of those games live here on Tip FM, and all in aid tomorrow in Feathertown Park of the Dylan Quirk Foundation. So that's what's to come over the course of the weekend here on Tip FM, and Ronan Quirk will look back on the weekend's sporting action on Extra Time as always on Monday evening at 7 o'clock. So for this week's Across the Line, we're going to hear the rest of that interview with Jake Morris, Jason Forde and Darragh McCarthy. We're going to talk a little bit about horse racing and greyhound racing towards the end of the show as well. So let's jump back into that interview. I sat down with Jason Forde, Darragh McCarthy and Jake Morris, and we'll pick it up when we're just about to talk about the All-Ireland semi-final win against Kilkenny. Yeah, that was an unbelievable day, because the Camogie team were playing beforehand and they won it in extra time, and there were 60-odd thousand there. So, like, he went through a parade and all that as well. So you had that experience as well at the semi-final stage. Like, first time a parade around Croke Park is probably a memorable enough thing.
Yeah, I suppose it was priceless going looking into the final. Then, like, you had that bit of that feeling of what Croke Park is like, and I suppose it looks so different on telly. Like, you don't. It doesn't seem as big when you play on it. Like, it looks a lot bigger on telly, I think, anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know what the boys think now. But
like, dimensions-wise, when you're on the field,
it just seems, I don't know, it looks a lot longer on telly or something. Now the boys think I'm raving here now. But I don't know.
He'd never seen a stadium like that before.
I'm just fitter than the boys. I get around quicker. To me it seemed like that. So that was fair and important with whatever it was. Yeah, the parade was another class thing, going around, all the roar from the crowd as well, class too, and it was invaluable then for the final.
Yeah, and that game itself, again, it was what did it finish up, 420 to 30 points. Slow start to the game, they got on top, then John puts one in the top corner. I think the second goal was your goal, you broke through, I'm pointing at Darragh here. And the third goal was your hand pass over to Jason, and you get that lovely flick, Jason. Talk us through that one. Like, it was kind of a high ball, I think, went in, broke down, you kind of peeled off, and Darragh played that kind of lobbed hand pass. You know, people ask players in the moment what were you thinking, but I'd imagine it was fairly instinctual to just flick that past Owen Murphy.
Yeah, like, in fairness, Darragh gave lovely ball in over the top, and like Shane. I think it was Shane Murphy was kind of coming. I could feel he was right on my tail. Like, so I knew Owen Murphy was coming out with the goal. Like, there wasn't a whole pile else. I know if I went to take a touch that I was either going to get hooked or dispossessed or whatever. So it was literally just try to get something on it, and if it goes in, it goes in. But I wasn't even sure it'd end up in the net. You could kind of hear the roar of the crowd, but I wasn't sure it was after going over the bar in the net. And then I seen John is also a fair man to celebrate a goal, so he loves a goal, yeah. He loves a good celebration, so once I seen him running that, I was like, fine, that's after going into the top corner there.
That's the statue of John McGraw with the two hands in the air extended up above him. Yeah, but like, what's that sound like when a ball goes into the net in Croke Park? Like, it must be outrageous altogether.
Yeah. No, it's class. I can hear the roar, but like, it does give you a fair fill up.
Yeah. It's like what you live for, what you train for.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you get a serious buzz off it. As a forward, that's what you want to be doing, is scoring goals in Croke Park. Like, so, and like we needed those 3 goals, as you said, with the slow start that we had. Like, they were tacking on points at the other end, so we needed those just to kind of keep in touch in the game, really. Like, because we hadn't really got into our flow at all. So yeah, they were important when they did come.
The game continues, and Darragh, you get a second yellow for challenge on Owen Murphy. Like, when that happened, you know, similar enough to the Cork game, I'd imagine, but what was your thoughts after that? Like I always said that was kind of harsh enough, but the hurley was left in and you flicked his hand, but reflecting back on that in that moment, were you thinking, here we go again, or what was that like?
Yeah, I suppose you pay the price for a loose hurley nowadays. Like, that was silly. Like, shouldn't have left it in. Should have justified. Should have been cute enough. As he warned me in the dressing room at half time, like, you're on yellow. Like, so you had some fear. I just wanted to stay on the field and walk around the other side, and sit and stand nearly rather than go near Liam at that time. But it happens again. You're just like, what am I doing? Like, what's wrong with me? You're saying,
Agreed.
You're just thinking that I've done it again now, and all the years training and all the hard work and everything, all the bonding is just thrown out the window there. For me personally, you're just after letting down the boys and everything is thrown out the window. You're after getting sent off. And I was walking off, and Jake just put his arm around me and said, "We'll win it. Like, we'll go."
Yeah, I was
win
going to
it.
ask why, because you were right there, and I think one of the Kilkenny lads was having a right laugh at you after you got the red card, and Jake, you come over and kind of helped Darragh off and said a few words.
Yeah, he just said we'll go and win it. Sure, lads thought Kilkenny lads were being genuine, but they were saying, everyone thought they were saying how hard look. They were just saying, laughing at you. You deserved it. Like, lads thought they were real genuine, but no. And J.O. was there as well, and he was saying we'll do it for you as well, or whatever. But you're not thinking that at the time. You're just thinking, we have to hope. Like, we're going to lose now. Like, just in fairness, like, it turned the game because the boys got such oxygen off it nearly. Yeah. The roar, the crowd got really behind. So we went 2 down, did we? Before were we 2 down when that happened?
I remember when it happened.
Were we 1 down, or was it?
The time of the red card, I'm not sure, but I remember you definitely were down a point or two, and you get a point where Andrew Ormond flicks the ball over the top, and you put it over the bar, and you kind of turn back and wave your arms. I'm talking to Jake here now, and wave your arms up in the air. I felt like that was a big moment to kind of get the crowd, and the crowd were really up for it at that point. But you probably knew, right, this is down to us up here to make this work.
Yeah, I think was there 10 minutes left, was there, when I got that score? And I remember just looking up at the scoreboard and just thinking, right, like, we've loads of time to feel sorry for yourself now after the game. But like, we were there in 2019, a few of us were there and experienced that. And like, unfortunately, the way hurling's gone, like, going with an extra man, like, you're not always guaranteed to have an advantage, like, because whatever way the mindset is, you kind of almost, you've a +1, so you kind of take the foot off the gas a small bit, and then when you've 14 men, everyone's just like going around like maniacs, you know. So we set up, once we got our shape right, we had 2 inside, we pulled everyone else back out the field. I think I went inside, and we had fresh legs on out the field, and we were set up really well, and we played really well. But that, I remember at the time just giving a bit of a roar back to the boys, just to say, like, oh, come on boys, like, this is there for us.
Kind of
like
body language thing, like.
We're well in this game. We can do this. Like, we've done it before, so we've trained hard for it all year. We have the juice and the legs to go do this for the next 10 minutes. And like, we knew, like, if we did manage to get our nose over the line, that would be massive for us coming through that battle against Kilkenny. So that was, again, a really good test for the team, and coming through it, yes, we were full of confidence after that. Yeah.
Jason, when Darragh went off, you to take over the frees, from memory, the first couple were out on the sideline, kind of underneath the stand, and then you got that point from play. I think was that to go into the lead. Andrew Ormond plays a kind of a hurley pass back out shot. You're on the sideline on the 45 on your left, under the Hogan stands. Just unbelievable score. But how did you feel in those moments now, like standing over those frees? You hadn't hitting a free all day, and your first couple are out on the sideline in the last 5 minutes of an All-Ireland semi-final.
Yeah, I just remember Noel was after coming on, and he just shouted into me that you're on the freeze from now on or whatever. So yeah, the first one was kind of corner 45, I think, or roughly around there. But yeah, just like, you just try to get into your routine.
Would you have been practicing it much in the lead up or anything like that?
Not a whole pile. I suppose, like, the lads would have said, like, you know, stay tipping away and practicing a few, like, because something could happen if Darragh gets injured or anything happens, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd take them in the Clare game and when he went off in the Cork game. So I suppose you're kind of, they just said to stay hitting a few, like, that you keep your eye in. But no, I wouldn't have been hitting a huge amount, but yeah, you just try to get into that routine. You know, I've had the past experience of hitting them up in Croke Park before and stuff, and like that hill 16 end is not an easy end to be hitting them into, whatever it is with the wind swirls around there a lot, like so.
And does it kind of confuse you in terms of you might throw up a bit of grass and you're thinking, whoa, what way is this going? Or
sometimes you might just like say, oh, I might need to keep this maybe out to the left a bit more, and it'll come back in, and then the wind can die down. It just doesn't come back.
Me and the other in final by.
I think it happened to us all there with them.
Wrong side of the post every time.
But I was just trying just bang through it, and as I said, just stick to the routine and just hope that they do go over.
And hitting frees in Croke Park, like when you're hitting frees, are you like, do you look at something behind the goals and think, right, that's my kind of line, that's my target? And is that completely different in Croke Park compared to like up in Dala or down in Toon? Like it's very different. Yeah,
I'd always try to pick something in the background behind, but like Hill 16 end is so much concrete then as well and stuff. Like it's hard to actually pick a point like in it. And then as you said, you're trying to account for the bit of swirling wind or whatever that's there. So it is a bit different.
They were important frees as well, though, because everything we hit like in the last had to go over. Like
that point, Jason, from the sideline from play, I think that was to go into the lead, or certainly to level the game. You've scored some great scores, but I'm sure that's kind of right up there given the circumstances, time of game. Just unbelievable score, like.
Yeah, and I suppose like at that, like you're down to 14 men, you're throwing everything at it. So there's a bit of a carefree kind of thing with it as well. And you know, once Andy popped back the ball, it was just let rip, like, and hope that it does go over the bar, like. But yeah, I think that kind of carefree thing kind of just helped us when the game went a bit unstructured like that. I think it really suited us. Yeah, I said like Jake ended up swapping in. I think I'd come out to feel a bit more. Nobody really had a real set position at that stage, I don't think. Like, do you know what I mean? You were just chasing down what you could chase down, trying to get two back in. That you had a bit of structure there if the ball was cleared up. We had bodies there. But yeah, I think it just suited us a lot more, and the game went a bit scattered like that, and different opportunities fell then for different players.
And Paddy Deegan is coming out with the ball. Alan Tynan blocks him down, plays a hand pass forward. It breaks down. I think Noel gets a flick first. You come sliding in, Jake, flick it towards to Oisín. Oisín gets it and somehow sticks it in the top corner. I'd say you were just getting back up onto your feet when he struck it. But like, talk us through that goal from your point of view.
So first of all, anyway, again, talking bench impact, Tynan comes on. Don't even know did he get brought on against Galway.
Don't think he did. No, he
didn't. And it'd be a big character in our dressing room. Alan would be, and coming on, that was a massive moment in that game. Like, turning over Paddy Deegan there, that ball goes to the other end of the field, they attack on and score. They were under a bit of pressure, and that turnover was just unbelievable. Pass goes into Noel. It's a bit unscattered. It's a bit scattered inside, and ball falls out to me. I go to rise and miss it. I just flick it out to Oisín, and to be honest with you, I was just roaring at Oisín, tap it over. Were we down 2 points?
Yeah, or definitely a point.
It was a draw.
No, I think it was a draw. That's well.
Yeah,
I think the goal put as a goal up again.
Yeah.
Roaring at Oisín just to tap it over or whatever, and sure, how bad, into the top corner on Owen Murphy, from one of the best keepers in Ireland for the last 10 years, from that distance out. We see a better goal, I don't know, will you, for a long time.
It was unreal. I'd say you were probably one of the happiest men in Croke Park, Darragh, when that hit the back of the net.
Yeah, I think John was beside me as well. You can hear him again celebrating the goal. He was absolutely delighted. I was twice as happy.
John had experienced that in 2019, so he knew what you were going through.
Yeah, he was. Sure, when I went off, he was there as well, and he was just saying, "We'll be alright. We'll get over this." And he's just trying to ease you as well. Like, I said I had about 500 Hail Mary said at that stage, and when that goal went in, you're like, bit of hope here now. Like, this is it, and you're just praising Oisín, like, or whatever. Like, but sure, then it comes down the other field, and then they get a shot on goal, and Dyler blocks it off the line, like, just as important. Like, that was probably to level it again, was it?
Well, it was with the scoreboard.
Was that before or after Oisín's goal?
That was after. That was last play.
Yeah, that was last play. Yeah, and that was when the scoreboard said there was 3 points in it, but there was actually only 2. Were you aware of that at the time on the field?
No. The bench was aware of it. They knew. Yeah. Because they were going to get a message down, but we weren't aware at the time. No.
It's just incredible looking back to think what would have happened if Robert Doyle didn't
I
make
knew
that.
Noel's shot had gone wide, but
Yeah.
I still wasn't aware. I wasn't paying attention to the scoreboard. So I don't think when you're that, even the Kilkenny boys, I'm sure.
Sure, it
You
could have
can't,
went both
like-
ways too. Like they could have got a goal, and if it was the right scoreboard, they'd be tapping it over. Like, you know,
Yeah.
they could have bet us then. Like, so there'd be two arguments either way. Like,
Oh well, look, we sat back as well, like on a 3 point.
Yeah.
We thought we had a 3 point, so you're obviously naturally going to drift back and protect the goal. So, but saying that, no, to be fair, they did have a couple of chances where they could have flashed them over. So
Yeah, it's
just unfortunately mistakes happen in all walks of life.
yeah, and dressing room after that game, like I'd imagine, absolutely buzzing.
Wasn't, yeah, we knew we had a holiday in the bag at that stage. So I hadn't been away for a few years, but no, it was, Jesus, like that, like we got, in 2019 it was the same, we got such a buzz out of winning kind of against the odds, like we were down to 14 men, and gave us some belief as well, like, so,
Yeah.
you know, you're going to look forward to a massive 2 weeks, like, and no, it was class. But like that, I think we were very aware as well that, like, you know, people nearly felt that, oh, you've done so well, you've got to a final. Do you know what I mean? If you don't go and win it now, it's not the end of the world, kind of thing. That, do you know what I mean? You've done well to get this far.
Yeah.
And there was very much, wasn't there, after
Yeah,
that?
that was
Like
exactly
the
it.
whole 2 weeks was nearly meeting
bonus
people.
territory kind of
Yeah, exactly. People nearly saying, look, you've done really well now. Kind of, do you know, we're up against it here, like that.
You got us another day out.
Yeah, kind of thing. Like, whereas we were saying in All Ireland final, like they don't come around too often, so we're going to grab it with everything that we have, like.
Yeah, like how is that how you kind of looked at that, as if, say, hold on a minute now, like we're not going up here to just say we played in an All-Ireland final?
Yeah, I remember saying to lads, like, after the final, I was not saying it before, but saying it after the final, like, that it was the weirdest build-up kind of to an All-Ireland final, because every other one that we'd been in, there was expectation that you would go and win it, but, like, anyone that you were meeting, like, was just kind of like that kind of, you were getting that tone that, like, geez, you've done really well to get there, like, and probably not going to win it now, but like you've put a bit of pride back into us or whatever, like, and fair play kind of thing. But,
yeah, that's not
yeah,
what
it
you're
wasn't.
playing for.
No, exactly. Like, as players, you don't have that mindset at all. But I think, you know, it's probably the complete opposite then in Cork, with the amount of pressure that was mounting and stuff like that. So it was probably two polar opposites of how you could be building up to an All Ireland final.
And we will talk about that build-up to the All-Ireland final after this quick ad break. And you're very welcome back to part 2 of Across the Line here on Tip FM with myself, Paul Carroll, on this Friday, the 12th of December 2025. Now let's jump back into the final part of our conversation here in the Nina studio with Tipperary's Jake Morris, Jason Forde and Darragh McCarthy. And we'll jump back into where we left off with the lads building up to the All-Ireland final. And you've built up to a good few now. I'm sure you played, 2 in 2014, 16, 19. So this was your 5th All-Ireland final, let's say, building up to... how is that, like, building up to, is Jason Forde 2025 building up to an All-Ireland final much differently than 2014, let's say?
Definitely. Like, in 2014 I was only 20, so same age roughly as the boys now. Like, you're probably thinking on a different wavelength, but yeah, then I wasn't starting at that time either, so it's different, I suppose. But yeah, like I said, like, the expectation in all those other finals was like that, you know, we should be kind of winning this, because I suppose the form from the previous couple of years would have suggested that we were, do you know what I mean? It wasn't any big surprise to be in All Ireland final in those years, whereas I think this year, as I said, you just kind of got that vibe that we'd done well to get there, and that was kind of the way the supporters were feeling and stuff. So.
And that must have been weird, Jake. Like, I'd imagine there was an expectation within the group that we're going up here and we're going to win this game. Like, but then when you're out in the street talking to people, you get that kind of vibe of, God, it's great to be going up to an All-Ireland final, kind of.
Yeah, do you know what? It was unreal, because like Jason said there, like, you could walk around the town and you wouldn't have anyone like annoying you or putting extra pressure on you. So it was really, and like Liam said it after the semi-final, he said, like, boys, I don't want any hiding away over the next 2 weeks. We'll get the tickets sorted, the banquet sorted, the suits all out of the way Tuesday night, and you're to enjoy the build-up for this game. It's an All-Ireland final, you've worked hard to get here, and I think all of us did, you know. We enjoyed the whole process. There's no one going places they shouldn't have been going, but we were able to enjoy it without having the massive pressure on us that I suppose Cork had, where they had a lot of weight on their shoulders down there, and with us up here, the expectation was so low from everyone outside our group that we were actually able to just enjoy that bit better. And it was really actually nice run into the All-Ireland final. It was 2 weeks instead of 3 weeks, which I think 19 it was 3 weeks, which was a big difference. You know, it was
more
on
of a
you all of a
routine.
sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the exact same process as any of the other games we played all year. But really nice build up going in. But look, the amount of All-Ireland medal winners that we have in our group that people forgot about.
Yeah.
Like, we were going up to the All-Ireland final, like 100% going to win it. Like, there was no moral victories on All-Ireland final day. Like, you're in an All-Ireland final, you go to win it. And we felt like we'd experience in our dressing room to go and get the job done. And with all Darragh and Sam and all these boys that have won so much coming up along as well. Like, you know, 2024, like, you still have an awful lot of All-Ireland winners in that dressing room through all grades, that when you do get things right, you're always going to give yourself a chance of winning on the big day.
Did you enjoy the build up to the All-Ireland, Darragh, being your first one, and like John, the lads would have experienced it before, but did you enjoy those 2 weeks between semi-final and final, or were you, how did you feel kind of for those 2 weeks?
No, it was so special building up. Like, you'd be obviously anxious enough, and you'd be looking at Cork saying, "Gee, what could it's always in your head, like, what could happen here, like, you know." But then what changed my mindset and what nearly relieved me and composed me was, we had a meeting in the Dome one night, and just like Jake mentioned there, it was just a simple meeting. It was 10 or 15 minutes, and I think someone said, Conor Stakelum or someone said that, like, there's any amount of All-Ireland medals in this dressing room, like, so there's plenty of experience and boys know how to win, like. Like, Jason had 2 or 3 All-Ireland medals, like Jake had 1. Like, there was loads of All-Ireland medals, like, and they knew how to win, so that cleared my head a lot. When you have that behind you, it's priceless, like, going up the road, and it was so enjoyable. Like, it's like them 2 weeks, it's like a feeling you just want to bottle and just open it up every so often and just look back on it, like, it was class, like.
Did you practice freeze more for those 2 weeks or anything, or to keep it the same?
No, actually, I didn't. It's nearly slacking off in the freeze at that stage, because you have so many hits. You're just trying to just refresh it back in your head and just need to relax. Even some days you get caught up in it too much, and you might be hitting freeze the night before a match, and it's just probably just doing too much then. Just even David Harry was mad about, and Carl Sheridan was mad about our psychologist winding down, like, and taking time away from it when you're away. So that played a big factor in the 2 week build up for me.
Going into that game as well, the fact it was Cork, and last game against Cork you were sent off early. Did you have to kind of battle anything around that? Do you know, were you kind of expecting, right, is one of the Cork lads going to try and give me a dunt here early to kind of test me out, or did you kind of have to prepare yourself for anything like that?
I think it was only for the people around me, around them. A couple of weeks I don't know where I'd be, but Carl Sheridan was unreal, and obviously Liam Cal was second to none the way he managed everything with me as well. But Carl was unreal. I met Carl a few times, and it just I probably won't go into too much depth about it now. It was just so simple the way he kept everything, and he just kept me on my toes, kept my head clear for the final, and he kind of made a few little tweaks in my preparation and for freeze even, and in general play as well. It was just simple little tweaks made a big difference for me, and for all the boys and the people that had around me made it that bit easier for me going into the final.
The freeze in the final, with your routine, Joe, it's it's not like you put the ball down and just take straight away. You go through this routine. It gives the Cork crowd on the day a chance to kind of jeer and try and put you off as best they could. How did you kind of manage that side of things? Because that's not something you can replicate down in Timibara. Or maybe you can get a load of lads in.
No, Carl did an interesting stat that he looked back on matches previous 2 or 3 years and said, he more or less said he did obviously a lot of work with it, and he said the longer you take on a free, the higher your chance is the ball going over. Right. So he fed that into me for a couple of weeks, and he ensured that I was hitting, I know it's a long time, probably 17 or 18 seconds over free, and I knew going into it was going to aggravate people, probably, but...
a few words with me in training over there one day, do you remember?
What's me?
You made me sit a free in Pats, and I had a few words with you, and you weren't too happy with it.
He was giving me large before a free, and he thought he was great, lad.
You were getting large and didn't it work out?
No, it was unreal from Carl, because I never actually... I've thought of it before. I remember Colin, our kitman for 20, said it as well before about the longer I take over a free, the better chance of goal. So yeah, like I said, I knew going in it was going to probably aggravate probably a crowd, but you have to stay in your own space there and just forget about everything else. So probably the routine did change a small bit, a few extra breaths or whatever to relax yourself.
Yeah, because I'd say I haven't timed it now, but I'd say it's around the same as like TJ Reid. I think he takes his time over the ball as well. Like, so it is not unprecedented. But we'll talk quickly about this game itself. It's kind of been talked about the lead up where he decided you're going to have play the extra man back. I think he had a training session beforehand, Jason, where it didn't work out at all. And was there kind of worries then to think, God, is this going to work out at all, considering your training match the week before didn't go to plan?
Yeah, like it was always going to take a bit of tweaking, and then like the B team or whatever you want to call it, they knew like that we were going playing with it as well, so it's kind of easier. It does show up a bit of a different dynamic, but do you know what? No, I when they came up with that and they said it, I was like, right, we're game ball here now, because like you take the league final and the championship game down in Cork, like the goals were killer. Like I think 3 goals in both of those games came in the space of maybe 15 minutes or something like that. Like, and no matter how well you're hurling, like if you're shipping goals like that, like you're in serious bother. Like, and when they said then that Brian was going to be kind of the free man, like so used to playing that role with UL and like such a stick man as well, and an athlete to cover ground, you knew like he was going to play it down to a T, like that he'd get on lots of ball, and when he's getting on ball on the front foot, like it'll open up channels for Jake to be able to run into, that he'll put the ball in, or for Darragh or whoever. So no, I was like, yeah, I was very confident once they'd announced that that's the way we were going to go. Yeah,
and the game then, first half was fairly tit for tat. They get that goal just before half time, and at the time when it was half time, we were talking off air, we were commentating and talking off air, saying, oh, that could be a killer blow just before half time. But nearly looking back, as Jason said there, Jake, that Cork a lot of the time got goals in bunches, so it nearly stopped that in its tracks with the half-time whistle and gave you maybe a chance to recollect in the dressing room at half-time. And hearing things about the dressing room at half-time, Liam speaking about it, that it was a very positive place and he didn't really have to do much, in his own words, that lads were up and kind of annoyed nearly that they were 6 points down.
Yeah, look, the goal probably did come at the right time for us, because if that match went on another 5 minutes and they tipped over another 1 or 2 scores, all of a sudden you're looking in trouble. But to be honest with you, we felt like we were actually hurling very well, and we had hit a lot of wides, and myself was probably the main culprit. We'd hit a lot of wides in the first half, but we were playing quite well.
4 or 5 wides, couple of wides.
We were playing. Yeah, you were still on the field at that stage. So we were playing quite well. But funny enough, that Darragh mentioned Cottle Turden there. We had prepped for being. We knew Cork in the first half of their matches were blitzing teams, and they were going in, but they were probably finishing a small bit slowly in matches. So we kind of had. Obviously, we didn't want to be down by 6 at half time, but we knew if we were down 4, 5 or 6 points, that it wasn't the end of the world, because we had five boys come off the bench, and we were finishing games really strong all year. So there was no panic there. You know what I mean? We felt like we were well in the game. We were matching them for everything. Unfortunately, like they have that in them, that spark and the pace that they can create goals like in the flick of a finger. But we were quite content at half time that our game plan was working, just up our efficiency, and once the boys come off the bench, that will be they're about to come down the home straight, and that's all we had asked for.
Yeah, I'd say that second half is just kind of magical, nearly thinking about it. Cork only managing 2 points, and Tip, I don't know what she finished up with for a finish in that second half, but looking back on that, Jason, have you watched back the match? Like, would you be lads to watch back the match yet, or have you watched it back at all?
Fully,
yeah, I've seen bits and pieces of it kind of back. I haven't sat down and watched the full 70 minutes or anything, but yeah, like you've seen majority of it. Like, yeah.
But that second half, John gets that goal. You hit the ball in, Jake drops short.
Good ball in, yeah.
John is there and somehow has the composure to just, like he's in the backyard, put it into the back of the net. Then the penalty comes, Darragh standing over a penalty in front of 82,500 people in an All-Ireland final, how's that like? You know, that's, I'd say that, is it relief when the ball hits the net, or what are you kind of thinking when you're going through your routine?
Yeah, it's like I said, it's some relief when it hits the net.
Would you have had a spot picked? Would you know, right, if I get a penalty, this is what I'm doing? Or
Yeah, I had it was kind of in my head a couple of days beforehand. With Cahill, kind of, I had it picked. He said, think about it, whatever, and I had it kind of in my head where I would go. Probably not that high. Probably like it a bit lower, but
yeah.
What? John got fouled, wasn't it? And then
Yeah, he caught the ball. Caught the ball over.
well, you were told you were supposed to be hitting, were you? If it was early on.
Yeah, that was kind
Done
of
my confidence good enough.
a bit of a mad one, all right.
So was there a discussion on the field between the two of you?
You ran over to Liam, didn't
Yeah.
you? And then obviously.
Like, I hadn't hit a penalty in, I'd say,
Yeah.
6 months or a year, I'd say.
Okay,
And
yeah.
I was going into the bathroom on our final day, and Liam came to me and said, if you get a penalty today, you're hitting it or whatever. And I kind of looked at him as if, like, I didn't know whether he was messing or he was serious. And then he was serious, so I said, fair enough. And then David Hurley said it to me as well. But, like, he was hitting the ball so well like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would have been madness.
So you ran over to
anyways.
Liam, and what
Yeah.
did you say?
I just said leave him hit it, like he's hitting the ball. Do you know what I mean? He's I don't know what you had scored at that stage, but like you're on the money, like, so it just made sense for him to hit it, like.
Yeah, J.O. just said, go on, have a go at it, and I was like, grand, try it anyway. I was sure, thankfully, like, you're thinking, just take as much time as you can again over it. Take a couple of steps back or whatever, and just pick your spot where you've been thinking, visualising, I suppose, the last week or 10 days, like, that there's no point in changing where you've been thinking the last week or 10 days, and then going to the wrong side of where you've been thinking, like. So just aim for that side, and obviously thankfully it went in. And the main thing you're thinking there is, don't miss a rise or something. Just concentrate each step at a time, like you're nailing your routine, nailing the rise first, and everything kind of flows naturally after that. You don't think too much about it, like.
Yeah, and again, ball into the back of net, 82,000 people. That moment, like, I think you give a big kind of fist bump, but like, thinking back on that must be unreal.
Even before the penalty, you're 3 points up, and with a man down, when they have a man down, so it's probably a big score at the time to go 6 up and a man in hand too, like, so it's probably an extra bit of pressure with it, because if you miss that, like, they'll get a bit of juice out of that, like, or whatever. It might go up to field and get a score or 2 points in it then, like, so could have potentially a 4-point swing, and then thankfully it went in, and then when it hits the net, you're so relieved first of all, and then you give it large then after that.
Puck out goes long then, and Ronan snaps it over Brian Hayes' head back up the field, and I think we get another score. And full-time whistle, do you remember what you did, or where you kind of ran to, or is it just kind of just chaotic when the full-time whistle goes?
You're so great, aren't you, like, from
just drained and just
drained and
emotionally, like, just you can't believe what's after happening, and just all the hard work and everything, and just you're pure just it's chaos really for 10 or 15 minutes.
You're disbelief for the first.
Running around hugging everyone, and everyone's so happy, you know. That's exactly what all the sacrifice you put in for it, and you're not guaranteed ever to get that out of it, to win an All-Ireland medal, like. And I said it at the start of the year with the boys. I can't remember where I said it, but I said, if God help the place if we win some of this group, because we were so close through the tough years. The group was so close that if we won something, we knew it was going to be special, like, and just some feeling. Yeah,
and just when you brought that up, there's a great picture going around on the All-Star night with your grandfather watching on from back home. Jimmy, like, what did you kind of make when you first saw that picture of him looking on so proud of you on the telly?
Yeah, sure. Look, it's a great, like, it's not really something you set out for at the start of the year when coming from where we are coming from, but I suppose after the All-Ireland, you know, it's a nice thing to bring back to your club and for your family, and for the grand, like, anyone knows, my granddad knows he's stone mad hurling anyway, so but to be honest with you, I'd say us winning the All-Ireland was better for him than me winning All-Star. Like, it's just like, obviously he's proud and stuff, but like that day up in Crow Park, he was up there, like, and I'd say he just couldn't believe. I'd say he thought now he mightn't have seen another tip All-Ireland, but just really, I suppose, special, and glad to be able to give him days like that, you know.
Yeah, no, you gave us all some amount of days, and I'd say you had a good few days after the All Ireland. It seemed like good crack. You kind of went up and down the county. Somehow Pink Pony Club was kind of your song of celebration throughout it, but a good few days, Jason, after.
Yeah, brilliant. And you know, I always say, like, if you can't enjoy these things after all you're after putting into it, then what's the point of it, you know? I think even the day here in Nina, like crossing the 44, there was a big kind of collage of a video put together. And you know, if you're ever in need of a pick me up, you go back and look at that. Like, it was unreal day with the castle in the background, and everybody made the trip up. Like, it was unreal. Like, do you know what I mean? With the way the last couple of years gone, you didn't know whether you'd ever see one of those kind of days again. So, no, it was the week. It was class.
So that was 2025, lads. How do you kind of maybe come back down off the high, and you're back in the trenches, I'd imagine now, back pre-season training? How's that kind of a adjustment now to kind of, from being at the top of the mountain to go back down and join everyone else at the bottom and try and do it all over again?
Yeah, well, I think there's just, Paul, there has to be a realisation that how do we get to the top of the mountain, and it was by going into the trenches, working our ass off for 7 months, like, and working harder than people even know, like, the stuff that was going on. And there'll be has to be a realisation now that to savour the feeling that we have and have had over the last couple of months, and do whatever we can to get back there again. But again, there's no guarantees in anything. We'll just have to get our noses out of Munster next year. But in order to do that, the next few months are going to be massive for us to get back down. We're all at the bottom of the mountain again. Everyone's on the same level, and work really hard together as a group again, do what we done last year, and even have to maybe up it a small bit more again for 2026, because I know for a fact there are probably other teams working really hard to try rectify 2025, and if we take our eye off the ball at all and tip, we'll see what's after happening historically over the last couple of years after we won it. So really big challenge ahead of us, but with the management team there and the squad that we have, I feel like we're all just really looking forward to getting back to the normality now and getting back to work.
You looking forward to the pre-season training there?
No, not at all, actually. Not at all. Long distance running isn't for me. I know, looking forward, like Jake said, looking forward to getting back into our routine.
Yeah. Well, lads, you've given us unbelievable memories here in Tipperary, and for myself, getting to commentate in those games. So from us all in Tipperary, thanks for this year, and the very best of luck in 2026 to you all, and thanks for coming in and talking to us.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
Cheers.
Thank you.
And that concludes my interview with Jake Morris, Darragh McCarthy and Jason Forde. They're looking back on what was a very successful 2025 for Tipperary. So once again, many thanks to the three lads there for coming in here to the Nina studio and sitting down for well over an hour and having a chat back through the year. So I found that really interesting anyway to hear the perspective of the lads, and I hope you enjoyed the chat as well. But we're going to leave it there. We're going to take a quick ad break, and we'll have horse racing and greyhound racing here and Across the Line after these. And you're very welcome back to the third and final part of Across the Line here on Tip FM with myself, Paul Carroll, on this Friday, the 12th of December 2025. Now we're going to switch focus to the world of horse racing now, and the Limerick Racecourse Christmas Festival gets underway, as always, on St. Stephen's Day. 4 massive days of racing, and to look ahead to that, I'm joined on the line by Limerick Races CEO Michael Lynch. And Michael, huge tradition as ever for many racing fans, the Christmas Racing Festival in Limerick every year.
Absolutely, Paul, and great to talk to you. I suppose for Racecourse, it's an annual pilgrimage to come to Limerick. I suppose really for the racing enthusiast and the general public alike. We've evolved over the last couple of years, and our numbers were up last year, and we're looking to break 20,000 attendees over the 4 days this year between the 26th and the 29th of December. So we're really looking forward to a fantastic 4 days of racing here at Limerick.
Yeah, and like looking at the 4 days planned, the St. Stephen's Day is when it gets kicked off, and always a big day there, but some really big races throughout the 4 days as well.
Yeah, there is, and you mentioned St. Stephen's Day. That's our busiest day, and we tend to get a younger age group on that day. So it's great. The Lions of Limerick is the feature race, 37,500 prize money, Grade 2. on that day. And new departure for us this year. We have we're putting in a big top, and we'll have top DJs in the big top. So a great, not just a great day's racing, but a great day's entertainment on the 26th on Stephen's Day.
Yeah, and going down through it then on Saturday, Ladies' Day, and then on Sunday, a massive race, a Grade 1 race there worth 100k. So, God, those are two very big days as well to follow on from St. Stephen's Day.
Absolutely. Ladies' Day, we're working with Celia Holman-Lee and Megan Scully on that day. Delighted to be doing that. And for the ladies out there, that's we'll have best dressed ladies prize of $1,500. And the big race on that day is the McMahon Building Providers Grade 2. And then we move on to the big one, really, the only Grade 1 in Munster, which is the Guinness 0014, prize money of 100,000. And we're delighted to be joined on that day by probably one of the biggest international racing influencers. Frankie Foster will be joining us, so we're really delighted to have him on that day. Yeah, throughout all days we'll have great entertainment. We've 13 bar areas and 7 food areas, so it'll be fantastic. And then we top it all off on the 29th with our family race day, and the Quinbet handicap hurdle is the big race that day. It's a listed 50,000 prize money. And then at the big top on that day we have a K-pop Demon Hunters tribute. So it really should be a fantastic day that day as well. We've over the 4 days of 28 fantastic races, nearly $500,000 in prize money, and I suppose in terms of tickets, they're selling fast. We've only got one box left on the private box left on the 29th. Everything else is sold out, and the panoramic restaurant is selling fast. We still have availability for the 4 days, and rates start there from €79 per person. But, you know, for the pub and the social and sporting groups that want to come to us, we organise a bus. We do deals for groups, but generally general admission is available online at limerickraces.ie or alternatively on the door. But we'd advise people to come early and enjoy their day out.
Yeah, well, it's really set up to a brilliant 4 days of racing and fun there for all the family as well. So, Michael, thanks a million for talking to us, and best of luck with it over the Christmas period.
Super. Thanks very much, Paul.
Limerick Racecourse CEO Michael Lynch there, looking ahead to their Christmas festival, the 26th of December. That gets underway all the way to the 29th. Now, let's switch focus again from horse racing to greyhound racing, because this time of a Friday evening, it's time to talk dogs with Barry Drake.
Tip FM's Greyhound News Update with Greyhound Racing Ireland, your Christmas party destination across the nation.
There's a lot to look forward to in the world of greyhound racing over the course of the weekend, with plenty of good racing down for decision, of course, and busy tracks as well around the country, of course, with the Christmas parties in full swing at this stage. We're going to look ahead to the Friday night racing programme that's down for decision at the Clonmel Greyhound Stadium, getting underway at the usual start time of 7:30. In terms of predicting a winner or two on the night, we're going to concentrate on the big competition ongoing at the moment, of course, and that is the Munster Christmas Cup, which is kindly sponsored by the Village Kennels. €5,000 to the lucky winner. And the opening semi-final can go the way of trap number 1, Slippery Brian, who's owned by Larry Dunn and trained by champion trainer Graham Holland, who delivered a sensational performance to win last time out in 28.54, I should say, just in October, youngster. The best is yet to come, no doubt, but going on that performance last weekend, will take all the beating there in the opening semi-final. While turning our attention to the second semi-final, Bombay Special set the standard last week when clocking a sizzling 28.32 for owner Jack Ryan and Thurles, trained by champion trainer Graham Holland. 5 wins from 6 career starts, definitely the one to beat in the competition now after that top-class winning performance last time, of course, and there's a real exciting sort for connections. So they're the two to follow if you're heading along to Clonmel Greyhound Stadium tonight. Now switching our attentions further afield and moving on to Thurles Greyhound Stadium on Saturday night, where their first race will get underway at 7 o'clock. One to keep an eye on here in race number 8 here. This is an A6 contest. I'm going with trap number 1 here, Hollyhill Rapid, for Jared Gubbins and local trainer Pori Campion, who've teamed up well. Plenty of success in recent times. This one didn't run as good as it can last time, but previous to that caught my eye in defeat, and from the inside of the track this could bring about improvement there, and I could see a second career success. The obvious danger for me in trap number 2, Cabra Chief, for the local kennel of Paddy Scally. So that's just one to keep an eye on there. Good competitive racing action down for decision there in Thurles on Saturday night. Switching our attentions back to Clonmel on Sunday night, of course, where the first will get underway at 4 minutes past 6, and we're going to look down through the card. Now we're looking at race number 5 here, of course. This is an A5 contest. A couple here have chances, but I'm going with trap number 3, Saline Dove, who's been competing at a higher level over the course of the last couple of weeks. Caught my eye in defeat last time, got trouble in running and still ran well to finish third, not beaten too far. This A5 contest looks well within range, owned and trained by Sarah Hooley down there in Ballyhooly. Elsewhere on the card, on Sunday night's racing programme, we're looking ahead to race number 8 now. This is an A3 contest here. Gigley's Freya has struggled over the course of the last couple of weeks in stepping up in grade, but back down into A3 company certainly has a good chance there for the Faulkner Brothers Syndicate there in Carrick. Unsure. Pat's favourite is out of form the last twice, but has claims on previous form. But I'm actually going to go with trap number 6 here, Step to Beat, for David Flanagan, who's enjoying a good run there in recent times as well. So just another one there to keep an eye on Sunday night. Well, finally, in terms of Sunday night's racing, race number 11, of course, is an A5 contest here. A couple of decent sorts in action here. It's yet to really happen for trap number 4, Sam Rose Bonnie, for David McGear and Cashel. It's had 3 career starts, but this is a significant drop in class, and I think that is definitely worth following there on Sunday night in Clonmel. Now finally, switching our attentions to the capital, to Shelbourne Park, of course. Fantastic racing programme down for decision on Saturday night. The 2025 Bernard Barry Christmas Oaks with 5 first round heats last week. All those heats coming back to Golden in County Tipperary by champion trainer Graham Holland. He definitely has a very strong hand in this event, and he can take the opening heat with Bush Park Mel, who impressed in the opening round. While in the second round, or the second heat, it can be another winner for trainer Graham Holland. Silver Hill Freya is selected to get the job done. He can keep that good form going in the third heat, because Ballydoyle Tina, who was one of the stars of the show in the opening round, can get the job done. So we're expecting more of the same. Graham Holland's domination in the Bernard Barry Christmas Oaks, of course, €15,000 to that winner next week. In the 2025 Shelbourne Marathon 850 final, €4,000 to the winner here. Patrick Guilfoyle, the Tipperary trainer, is represented with trap number 6, Magical Poppet. But the one that caught my eye last time out, didn't go at the plan, found plenty of traffic problems, is Killaculla Hill. And I think that one is one of the standout selections of the weekend, owned and trained by Michael Fitzgerald down there in County Limerick. So it's another exciting weekend of greyhound racing with plenty to look forward to all around the country.
And many thanks as always to Barry Drake for giving us a comprehensive rundown on what's happening in the world of greyhound racing, both here in Tipperary and further afield as well. That's just about all we got time for this week's edition of Across the Line. A reminder, we'll be back on the airwaves tomorrow afternoon, 4 o'clock Tipperary versus Kerry in the senior football, and 6 o'clock Tipperary versus Limerick in the senior hurling. Both challenge games in aid of the Dylan Quirk Foundation in Feathertown Park tomorrow. You will be able to hear them live here on Tip FM. So until then, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a good Friday evening, and for this week's edition of Across the Line, it's bye for now.